Welcome everyone to the ninth episode of the Campus Insider. Know everything about the BSc Finance in NMIMS Mumbai. I am Sanika Mate, your host, your friend, and your guide, welcoming everyone to you for the Campus Insider series. And we have our panelists today. We have Dia Shah, Ria Irani, and Abhijay Baptist. Okay, so starting with the seniors first, let's just take rounds in introducing yourself, starting with you, Dia. Can you give a little information about yourself, about your profile to our students, and what exactly you're looking forward in terms of in your future? I know you're looking at possibly doing CFA or CA, right? So it will be nice for our students to know what exactly your background is.
So thank you for the introduction, ma'am. And hello, everyone. My name is Dia Shah, and I'm from Bombay. In my 11th and 12th, I was from NM College, and right now I'm in NMIMS. I'm in my third year doing B.Sc Finance. As ma'am mentioned, I am also planning to give my CFA Level 1 exam in November. So I don't have too like long plans about my future yet, but after my CFA I do plan on doing my MBA or my masters, but after 2-3 years of work ex. Yeah, that's about it.
Great. Ria,
Hi.
next going with you. Thank you so much again for being so warm and agreeing for this session. Please introduce yourself to the
Thank you
students.
so much for having us. Firstly, I'm sure I can say that from like all three of us. I thank you so much for calling us and having us here. It's an extreme honor. So, hi guys, my name is Ria Irani. I am also in third year BSc Finance, and I too, like Dia, did my 11th, 12th from NM College. Uh, I am not doing my CFA right now. I am planning to give my MBA exam and go study, finish off studying, and then get into the work field. So I'm planning to give, the various entrance exams for the MBAs right now.
Great. Last but not the least, Abhijay, thank you so much for agreeing to do the event, at the end moment. And it will be nice if you can introduce yourself to my students.
Thank you so much for having me here, ma'am. Very good evening
Most
to
welcome.
everyone. So, like my fellow panelists, I am also from Bombay and I have completed my 10th from Vibgyor, Goregaon, and my 11th and 12th from Jamnabai Nursery School. I did ISC, which is a stone's throw away from NM College. And after that, I am now pursuing a BSc in finance. I'm in my second year. So that's pretty much about my educational background. So about myself, I like to read, I like to watch documentaries, and a reason why I chose the field of finance is I'm interested in automobiles. I'm interested in automobiles and aviation, among a few other sectors. And I feel finance, being a very dynamic field, would give me the flexibility to pursue what I wanted in the future. And as for my future, I plan to do an MBA first, preferably from India, if not abroad. And after that, I plan to go into investment banking, after which I will then specialize in the sector or in particular industry which interests me at the time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, all three of you, for introducing yourselves. Now, I'll give you like a break for around a couple of minutes because I have just basic information for our students, for them to be aware of what exactly they need to be aware if they are considering NMIMS. I'm sure a lot of students here are considering NMIMS. So just making sure that, before they are thinking about it, they just need to know the basic. Okay. So as you all know, NMIMS, one of the top institutes in management in terms of BSc Finance, economics, it will be one of the best, you would be actually looking at. All right. Now, NMIMS was established way back in 1981. So, बहुत पुराना institute hai, and it is one of the good ones to go for. The entrance test required is NPAT, and the other way, in case if you have given SAT, even with your SAT scores, you would be able to make it to NMIMS. If you have anywhere around 1300 plus, the chances are pretty good that you would be able to get into NMIMS. So if you are considering SAT for any other institutes, you can even try applying to NMIMS for the same. The eligibility criteria, a lot of institutes have a age criteria, an age limit With NMIMS, it is 25 years. So in case if you are 25 years and beyond, you will not be able to appear for NPAT, hence no NMIMS there. And 50% is the minimum requirement. Does anybody feel 50 से कम आएगा 12th में? Hand raise करो जल्दी. किसी को आएगा 50 से कम? I'm hoping not. Right. So if you are getting 12th standard में minimum 50%, the chances of you appearing for NPAT, or you would be able to apply for NPAT. Let's say that's your eligibility criteria. Okay. Again, a very important question. Ma'am, maths required hai, stats required hai. Yes, maths is a mandatory subject which you need to have in 12th for clearing or for applying for NPAT, or applying for NMIMS. So in case if you don't have maths, chances are, unfortunately, you would not be able to apply. Batch profile. Now, BSc Finance, normally we say batch profile. Why are we looking at it? Just to give you an understanding of, what is the percentage of the batch looks like. So as per the recent report, you would see that 68% of the batch would be of boys and around 32% would be of girls. And in case of package, because ये question registration के time पे बहुत लोगों ने पूछा है, ma'am, what is the average package one person gets? On an average, the salary is around 7.35, but I am sure Ria, Dia, and Abhijay would provide us with a lot more information, and the numbers would change. Okay. A quick information in regards with the campus. Okay. So if you're looking at applying in NMIMS, so you would be able to apply in NMIMS for the different campuses for this program: Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Bangalore, and Indore. With seat intake goes as 180, 120, 60, and 60. The fees also mentioned here. Maximum what you pay is 3.5, 3.75. That is for Mumbai. Now, this is also based on the preference. So in case if a student is looking at applying for BSc Finance, the best campus would be the Mumbai campus, and then the Navi Mumbai, the Bangalore, and Indore. Okay. Now, some important information about the NPAT. If you're appearing for NPAT, admission is based on the All India rank what they provide you after the entrance. There is no personal interview round. So students who don't like personal interviews, good news there. Only entrance test is required, and post that. And also, you can give 3 attempts. So it's not that एक attempt ही देना है. No, you can give 3 attempts. You can choose the attempts. They would be opening their slots. You can choose the attempts, and accordingly you would be able to the best of the scores will be picked up for the rank. The fees for 3 years. So if who asked this question? Bhumi. Uh, for 3 years, no, it is not for 3 years, it is for 1 year. So 3.5, 3.25, whatever amount is mentioned is for 1 year, not for 3 years. Okay. So as we were talking about, the admission is based on the All India rank. There is no personal interview. You get 3 attempts. You can decide the attempts. The application will be open from December. You can start planning your attempts as and when the slots will be open for you all. NMIMS doesn't declare scores, they will only give you ranks. So keep that in mind. All India rank less than 2,500 as per the last year information we have, sufficient for you to get into the BSc Finance Mumbai campus. If you're looking at BSc Finance for Mumbai campus, a minimum of 2,500 rank would be sufficient. This is as per 2023, 2024. It will change because every year the quality of the student only gets better and better. You all are getting smarter. Preference order for campuses as per the cutoff, and the cutoffs, the campus order is something similar to which we discussed in the first slide. And the campus order here again goes as Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Bangalore, and Indore. Okay, this is the paper pattern for the NPAT exam. Okay, so there is maths, logical reasoning, verbal ability. Dayan, no. If you are giving SAT, NPAT देने की जरूरत नहीं है because आपने already scores दे दिया है. So that is not required. Okay. So that's about your NPAT. Okay. Now, why you should be going for BSc Finance? If you look at their website, they will be able to tell you there are certain things what they claim or what they speak about being their, being the best about their program. Okay. So they say that the advanced understanding of international financial markets, which all three of us could help us to understand if this is something which they are actually providing. It covers most of the level one and part of level two for a CFA program. So if you're looking at CFA as your goal, then this would be the apt program for you. Students who are looking at pursuing MBA, CA, and other professional courses, this one will be the apt for those students also. Career opportunity in the field of banks, financial institutions, insurance companies, credit rating agencies, opportunity to work with investment analysts and portfolio managers. So all the banks will happily welcome you with this particular degree. And beyond banks, it's not that you're only limited to banks. Uh, it will welcome you for normal organizations as well in possibly on a junior level in an accounts department, or possibly a little a work which the analytics is required. So this is about the information, the basic information you need to know about the BSc Finance with NMIMS Mumbai. Now let's start with the questions, the list of questions I have for all of you here. Okay, starting with, let's say, the seniors. Okay, starting with you, Ria. You are in the third year. Okay, what was the motive? Like Abhijay definitely mentioned about the reason for him to go, to opt for BSc Finance because his interest in the motor the motor sector. Okay, what was your interest? What was the reason for you to actually pick up BSc Finance?
So, I don't want to sound cliche by saying the glass building, but I definitely wanted to stay in Mumbai, and it being one of the most top colleges in Mumbai, I saw the courses that they had, and finance in 11th, 12th only had really fancy, like I was really fancy by it, doing accounts and all of those sort of subjects because I have a commerce background. So seeing that, I realized that this was an area that I wanted to get into because there's no sector in the world that can work without finance. So I would
True.
be able to enter anywhere with through this, and I enjoy numbers also too a lot. So it was everything that I liked in one place.
Great. What about you, Dia? Looks like finance was your calling because you're right now kind of pursuing CFA. So was this the plan, or just everything changed, or it was an impromptu decision?
No, so actually after 12th, I was very clear that I wanted to do BSc Finance, and for that reason, I didn't have any backup. So NPAT BSc Finance was my only option because because if not this, then I would have maybe gone with NM or Mitibai. But I always wanted to do BSc Finance because I was always good with math. I was good with numbers. So and I also wanted to get into the finance industry because I think I can do well because this is not a job profile which has a lot of extrovert behavior, and I think that is not great for me. So that was one of the options. That was one of the reasons why I chose BSc Finance. And secondly, as Ria said, I didn't want to go somewhere else. Like I didn't want to leave Mumbai, and my parents also didn't want me to shift from Mumbai in undergrad. So yeah, and NMIMS obviously has it's a great reputed college. So yeah, nothing better than that.
Okay. Abhijay, now you definitely mentioned, about the reasons for BSc Finance, but why NMIMS? Or did you have any other, like a backup option which you could have fallen back to?
Yes, so yes to both of them, backup option as well. So I always wanted to do finance. My interest in sectors was primarily something I had a while back. But leaving that apart, I always did want to pursue finance. It is just that finance will now give me the flexibility to choose various sectors going forward in the future as I desire. But finance is something I always wanted to do. As to why NMIMS, NMIMS because it has the only BSc finance program of repute, and the rather only program itself, to the best of my knowledge. And it has a very stellar reputation in terms of campus placements, in terms of faculty, and the quality of education imparted, which is all very, very strong here. So that was my primary reason. And I was open to going to any wherever, a good college, or I got into the college of my choice. and it just happened to be Bombay. So that worked out very well for me, no doubt. And for my backup, I had applied for a bachelor's in economics honors, at Christ University at their main Bangalore campus, and I had also gotten for that. So
Okay.
actually, the final date to confirm my Christ admission was on the day when the NPAT results came out.
So everything kind of worked for you.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay. Now coming to the NMIMS part, I mean, maximum of you kind of wanted finance, and again, NMIMS is one of the top institutes to go for. What I wanted to understand is in this 3 years journey for Ria and Dia, both of you, okay, what exactly you feel that have really stood out, or what exactly is the unique aspect of the course with NMIMS? Starting with you, Dia.
So I think the best part about BSc Finance is it's a specialization degree. So it has a lot of things that the other. So no, there's no other. Like, there are very less colleges that give specialization in finance. So here we have a lot of subjects which are not actually taught in other colleges. Like there's debt markets and there's corporate finance, and all this is really important for the base of finance. So if
Okay.
you want to go and work, so since I have 1 month experience in corporate world, so it was extremely helpful to know the basics already, because even people, they want this from you that you already know it. So yeah, BSc Finance. So this was really unique about it, that the curriculum is very good, and the faculty is also extremely good. Like they don't take faculty who don't have a PhD degree. So in terms of qualifications also, the faculty is very nice, very helpful, and also the projects that they give you. So they are not exactly just theory; they have a practical aspect to it as well. So yeah, these were the things which I find really unique about this degree.
Fantastic. Ria, do you agree with that, or do you have something else to which you want to add to it?
No, I 100% agree with everything that she said, because I feel like choosing this, especially BSc Finance course, it grows you completely as a person, like from the corporate perspective, because the college manages to build such a strong base for us in the finance sector, with all these subjects, the projects that they give us, the case studies that we talk about in class with the teachers and all. So it really builds you as a whole as a person also. So I feel like it is a great option for someone who is interested in this field.
Great. So the, coming to the field and coming to, as Dia mentioned, that there's a lot of option for specialization. Okay. Abhishek, coming to you, what exactly are the subjects you learn in the first and the second year? As in, what do they focus on? Is it like everything? Because with economics, they do have a little bit of sociology, they do have a little bit of communication. Okay, students who would have attended economics, they got the clarity that they are not only focusing on the econometrics or the microeconomics or the macroeconomics. What's about with finance? What do you do in terms of subjects, first
Okay,
and
so
second year?
I'll start with my subjects in the first year. So in my first semester, I had principles of management. I had corp. So okay, so before I continue, we have 6 subjects every semester, 2 semesters
Okay.
in a year, and it comes out to each subject having 4 lectures a week, if I'm correct. So that's like the broad schedule. And now to get into the 6 subjects. In my first semester, I had principles of management. I had accounts, basic business accounting. I had corporate communication. I had financial markets and institutions. And I had QT, that is quantitative techniques. And I had microeconomics. So
Okay.
these are my subjects for the first semester. A very nice base or good introduction, I might say. And now moving on to the second semester, microeconomics is now macroeconomics. Quantitative techniques has been continued, but quantitative techniques too. So a continuation of the syllabus. So that then you have IT applications, which is about Excel and Microsoft Access and everything. So that's very, very helpful. So you have IT applications and you have management accounting. you have
Okay.
management accounting, and you have principles of marketing. So I believe I've covered 5 subjects, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
There's one more which I'm just trying to think.
It's okay. It's okay. We just want a very broad perspective, not really like each and every subject, but just a broad perspective. Because what I'm getting out of this, what you have mentioned, that being, BSc Finance is not only about the numbers. Okay. They are looking at the management aspect, they're looking at the economics aspect, they're making sure that you're learning each and every aspect so you are ready for the outside world. So, in case if you are really going into a corporate world and starting with a job, you would be able to kind of manage. Okay. So on those lines.
Corporate finance. The 6th subject is corporate finance, which is
Great.
continued into the second year as corporate finance 2.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So
What about the third year? So in terms of, this was the first, 2 cents what you told, which was a broad perspective. Okay. Ria, would you be able to help us out in terms of the third year? Does the specialization kicks in, or the specialization kicks in into the second year? Can you give us a little bit information on that?
I would say in the second half of your second year is when basically your fourth sem is when you finally get into way more core finance subjects. And your fifth and sixth sem, which is the third year, is entirely, completely finance. All our 6 subjects are finance based. Though we have law as one of the subjects this sem, but that's also business law, which, would help us. So the specialization, I would say, starts from the second year half and continues till the end of your third year.
Okay. Okay. So the specialization, what you opt for, Dia, do you need, like, do you get any kind of support from the faculty to decide in terms of specialization, what
Uh,
you're supposed to pick up?
uh, are you talking about after graduation or in the third year?
No, in the third year.
So we don't have an option to choose
Okay.
between. Yeah, so there's no option since you've taken finance. So the curriculum is such that the syllabus is such that all the subjects are finance related, like they're core
Okay.
finance subjects. Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to choose between any
You
subject.
don't have to choose. Okay, great. So that becomes life all the more easier then. Okay. In that case, when does the project work start, or is there an involvement of projects in the second year? Abhijay, starting with you, is there any project assignments what you work on in the first year or in the second year?
yes, ma'am. Each and every subject has a project component that can vary, but that usually varies between 10 and 20 marks depending on the size. It is mostly 20, either one project or 2 projects, but every subject, right since the first semester, has a project component. So every semester you will be submitting a minimum of 6 projects. So, and with the first, and the level is pretty much, it's college level only. So does take a little bit of figuring out in the first semester, but you work together in a team, so you find your way and then you just learn, and that's how you move forward in your coming years,
Great,
semesters.
great, great. Dia, Ria, starting with you. Okay, is there in the third year, is the assignment project increases, or do you get a little breathing space? Because 6 projects in a one semester is what Abhijay mentioned, right? Have I heard that right?
Yeah, he is 100% said the right thing. You have projects in every subject, and sometimes they might be 2 projects. Like either you give like a presentation and then, and then on the other hand, you have like a report and an Excel that you have to submit. I would say in the fifth semester, now that I don't know, maybe I'm in it, that's why I feel that way. But the projects are extensive, but you learn so much. And like he mentioned, we work in either admin groups, that is like we're sorted according to our names. So the 5 people work together, or we get to work with our friends in 5 people. So that's really great because you have an exposure of working with like different groups of people, and you don't ever have to do a project alone. So that's like a really good part. And the teachers
That's a
are very
relief.
helpful. Yeah, 100%.
Great, great. Now, because it's a finance program, okay, and mathematics is mandatory even for the entrance exam. Sakshi, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Mathematics eligibility, it is important, students. Without maths, nahi chalega. So it's extremely crucial. You need to have maths, okay? Now coming to the aspect of, the curriculum, what you guys mentioned, the subjects you guys mentioned, is this particular subject very stats or maths heavy? Dia, if you can answer that particular question for us, is it very, students who are, though they take maths, at times students are not really comfortable with maths, उनके साथ में maths के साथ में हमेशा एक tiff चलता रहता है. So, is it something which is easier or it goes on? How exactly it works, Dia?
So it's not directly math, but there are some subjects that do require the basics of math. So basics as in percentages, fractions, because you have to be quick with your calculations. So there are a few subjects like corporate finance, which requires, so they are basically practical subjects in which you have sums to solve. So there your basics of mathematics will kick in, but the other so it is a mixture of both as theory subjects as well as there is practical subjects. So in the practical subjects you do require basics of math, so that is a must, that you should be comfortable with math, like basic maths. And there are many subjects that are on Excel also, so there you don't really need math because Excel does it for you. So yeah, it's a blend of all types of subjects.
Great, great. Now, when it comes to your, your projects, where you spoke about the assignments as well, coming back to that, okay, do you do any kind of research? Is it research a part of the BSc Finance program, or is it only assignments you guys work on? Uh, Abhijay, if you can, answer this question, is it there in first or second year?
Research is involved in pretty much every project because most of your projects are based on real-time data, like analysis of a mutual fund, or if it's corporate communication, analysis of something that's happened very recently. So if I'm correct, Sneha ma'am must have taught the both of you all as well. Yes. So it's always very current. So Procter and Gamble had something, with their shares or something in the last year, a rights issue. There was some issue wherein a company was doing something that it shouldn't be doing, and that happened very recently at the time, about a year back. So our analysis in corporate communication was based on that. So every single project ends up involving research because it is based mostly on current affairs of the particular field. And if it's historic, you still have to go and find data for markets or for industries. So your assignment is based on your research.
Okay, so research is again a very crucial part, and good part is that it is always the real time current affairs what you guys are kind of doing research on. Okay, now coming, you just mentioned Professor Sneha ma'am. Okay, now the question is to our seniors, Dia and Ria, to both of you. Okay, in your experience, I'm sure experiences can be very subjective and very can be very different. How is the faculty? Is it helpful? They are very strict. uh, exactly has been your experience? Starting with you, Ria.
My experience, touchwood, with all my teachers till this day has been extremely good. And I'm not just saying that, but genuinely, all professors at NMIMS are very helpful. If you go and approach them with even after hours of college or anything, they're very helpful. They have their doors open for you, be it like a general doubt that you have in what they taught you in class, or whether it's help with the project that they've given you, or help with another teacher's project as well that involves a little bit of their subject. They're extremely helpful. They're very warm. They're very loving, caring. I would tell you 100%. Obviously, it takes a mixed bag of people, but it's all of them are extremely helpful, and they've been extremely helpful to me at least.
Great, great. So looks like the faculty has been good to Dia. Okay. Now, what about you, Ria? The faculty has been good with Ria. What about you, Dia? Uh, has you kind of experience for you has been the same?
Yeah, definitely. I've had a very similar experience, like as Ria said. They're very helpful. So, in terms of strictness, yeah, there are some teachers who are very strict with their projects or assignments or their marking schemes or even punctuality on in that context, like coming on time and all of that, or proper dressing or all of that. There are some teachers like that also, but in terms of like teaching and educating in the overall aspect, the faculty is very good. And even if you have doubts about, like about your future, so you can go to them. They'll guide you as per their knowledge for your career also. So the faculty is very good.
Fantastic, fantastic. Uh, Apart from the faculty, as you spoke about the grading as well, okay, is it, at times your peer group becomes very, very crucial, okay? So with NMIMS, you find students who are definitely academically a little on the higher side. They would score 80 plus, okay? So what exactly the grading looks like? Is it like a very tough competition? Abhijay, if you can possibly highlight this. Is there a very tough competition in terms of grading, or is it something which goes pretty smoothly?
See, so sorry, whether it's a tough competition or goes smoothly, it depends on how, I mean, Dia and Ria, I think they can correct me if, I'm going off topic or going wrong here. I think it depends on how seriously you take all the assignments that come your way, whether it's 5 marks or it's 10 marks. Because see, you have 100 marks that's divided into 50 internal and 50 external. External is the end term examination. So you can't really touch that till you sit, to give the paper. And in your 50 marks internal, you have a 20 marks midterm exam, and the rest of the 30 marks is divided between various things depending on subjects and faculty. Here, the faculty is given discretion. Projects, MCQs, small tests. So, what happens is usually these 10-mark tests, projects, they come your way, you're given some time with a small portion. So, if you just work a little bit hard for those, your grading goes very well because then you keep getting the marks and it goes well. So there's nothing like the grading is difficult or the professors don't give you grades or they throw grades. It's pretty much in proportion to what you do. So depending on how seriously you take, your whole semester, you can actually cross 45 out of 50 in your internals, or you can even fall as low, to something around 20ish, very honestly. And in my 3 semesters, having been at both places, I know the difference, when you sit for your end term exam. And I'm sure, obviously, my seniors would have had more experience in this regard. So that is what it is about. The grading is pretty smooth as long as, you just follow the deadlines and get the work done.
Okay. Okay. I think that was a very detailed information what you actually gave us. And here we got a question as well. If you get better marks in boards but lesser in NPAT, then another applicant, is that considered? Okay, so the Udyati NPAT scores are the only thing what they would consider. Okay, so there is no question of your scores, but you have to understand one thing. Students who score well, when it comes to the ranking is concerned, naturally those are the students which ideally score well in the boards as well. Okay, because NPAT is very quant heavy, mathematically thoda heavy paper hota hai. So that is the case. So it is not that NPAT, gets scores, if they are not considering, they'll consider your board scores. No, that's not the case. They will only consider your NPAT scores. Okay. Coming to the next aspect, the fun aspect. And before I start the fun aspect, I have something to share. Okay. Uh, just to kind of give you guys a little glimpse of what happens and what is the fest all about. Is my screen visible by everyone? Okay. What was going on in here? This was one of the videos for the fest, which was, I think, the Vayu fest, which was going on. Okay. And what I want to check with you all is that, how exactly the fest is conducted, because there are a lot of videos which I have right now, which I would possibly play later for you all. But it looks like a very fun and a very huge festive. Okay, so seniors, we want to know more information about the festival, which is the Vayu for the NMIMS. Uh, okay, Ria, go ahead.
So I was a part of IU in my first year, and I was part of the pro shows department, which basically handled getting celebrities, getting promotions for movies, and having the pro nights that the festival has. The pro nights are basically at the end of the day. They either get like a singer or a band to perform, or on the 3 days, so there's 3 different people who come to perform, there's a DJ night and all that sort of thing. It is definitely a great experience and something I would 100% recommend, like anyone who's joining NMIMS, be it for any course, to be a part of Vayu 100%. It gives you so much exposure. You learn so much. You not only have fun, but you also learn so much. Like I have learned so much with handling celebrities, handling people, the entire communication aspect of how important it is. And I've also had a lot of fun, like you've seen in the videos that I sent to you. It's a blast that you have, especially for the 4 days that the festival does happen, as well as the days before it when you're prepping with your department and all of that.
Great. With Dia, starting with you, what exactly, what the skills you have developed with the part of being fest, or what exactly really stands out with this fest with NMIMS?
So Vayu, so it's actually one of the most biggest festivals of Mumbai. So here I think one of the biggest skills, because it was my first year, so I was really open to making new friends and all. So Vayu was actually the first place where I made the first set of my friends. And yeah, so it was extremely so other than being fun, you actually, this is the first time you're organizing a huge fest for a whole lot of people. So there are so many different departments, and it's not that. So I was in the PR department, I was the public relations department that handles the social media aspect of the entire fest. So working with 30 people, so it before the fest I think we worked for around 2 months. So the entire 2 months working with so many people, and you learn a lot of things from your heads, and not just from the PR department but also from other departments. You learn a lot about organizing such a huge fest, so what all goes into that, the technicalities, and communication. Obviously communication, you learn a lot about that, interacting with so many people. And there are hundreds of problems that come in way of such a big thing, and then you learn how to solve them, how to overcome them. So, and also time management, because you have to do all this with college. So yeah.
So you basically learn a lot of skills. One thing is something which is pretty highlighting here: time management, people management. You handle the pressure. The pressure management, how you kind of perform in pressure. Okay. Now, this question I think is specifically for you, which has been asked here by Vihan. Vihan is asking, along with BSc in finance, when do we when do we have to start preparing for CFA, in the second or in the third year? What would you recommend?
So right now, there's just been a change in the rules that right now you can give CFA even directly after your 12th grade. So if someone wants to give CFA in the first year, second year, third year, you are eligible for everything. So I would definitely recommend that you finish your level 1 in your first year or your second year, because third year gets really hectic with placements, and with your like the syllabus also gets tougher, the presentation, the pressure increases. So definitely first and second year you should finish your level 1, and for level 2 you have to be in your third year to give the exam. So so you should complete your CFA level 1 in your first or second year. And also because the syllabus is really overlapping. So right now when I'm giving my level 1 exam, it's like if we have 10 subjects, 5 subjects are something that I've already learned. So it's a huge advantage if you're doing both of them together.
Fantastic. So basically, the claim for NMIMS, which says that if they would be covering the level 1 and level 2 almost, which is absolutely right. So I hope, Bihan, that actually answers your question. And for all the others who are interested in the CFA as a course, this would be the right one for you, because you can start early and make sure before your third year starts, you get done with your level ones. Okay. Coming to the fun aspect of it, is there any kind of a dress code, Abhijay? Starting with you, is there a dress code you guys follow, or is only limited to presentations?
You just have to be decently and presentably dressed. Slippers are I mean, kind of not allowed unless, you're not, you've got a hurt or something on your leg, it's like you have a fracture or something. But apart from that, just like decent, presentable clothes that you would wear for in an everyday environment, nothing as such. I know a lot of colleges have formals in daily wear and everything. So Christ, where I got selected, they had a rule that you had to wear formals every day. So nothing like that here. But yeah, you presentations, it depends. Most faculties have a rule that you should be formally dressed for your presentations, but again, some don't consider it an aspect of grading. So that's subjective.
Okay, okay. So apart from dressing, the most important question a lot of students ask is about the attendance. Ria, please enlighten our students in terms of what is the attendance requirement, or it's not really paid attention to.
So it's 100% paid attention to. We get mails every other, like I would say once a week with our attendance report. And it's the thing that all of us, go to check that, oh, have we missed, have we crossed? So you need 80% attendance in each of your 5 subjects, mandatory. So that's basically, they conduct 60 lectures in one subject. So the max you can miss out of the 60 in one semester is 12 lectures. So that's 24 lectures in a year.
Oh, wow.
For each subject, kind of, yeah. So
For each subject, yeah.
Is it manageable? As in you guys kind of manage with that, right? Or you don't have an option?
I think you get used to it. By the time you reach your third year, I would say second year only you're used to it. But it's not that difficult as people make it the same. It's very manageable and you feel like going to class because the way the teachers teach is not like, they're coming and just like reading from the PPT or reading from a book or something to you. It's very interactive, it's very two-way, and you learn a lot in class itself. So you don't have to come home and study.
Okay, that's great. Dia, again, the question looks like it's for you. Is it easy to cope up with both CFA and finance related studies? I think Vihan has a lot of questions when it comes to CFA is concerned. Please enlighten our students. Let them know. Is it copable? Is it हो जाएगा manageable है?
Manageable तो definitely है. मतलब I have a lot of friends who've already passed this August CFA level 1, so definitely it's manageable, but it is tough because right now, so I'm giving in November, and right now I have like 6 presentations lined up in the next week or the next 2 coming weeks. So definitely it's very hectic, but like you have to have the right attitude, like you have to be done with things before, so I was prepared that I'm going to get everything together right now. So yeah, it's manageable. So for CFA, if since Vihan is planning on doing CFA, so definitely he should start 6 months prior, and so 6 months of preparation, he will be like, there won't be too much pressure towards the end.
Great. There won't be too much pressure on the end, towards the end, Vihan. I hope that answers the question, for you there. Now, when it comes to the clubs are concerned, the extracurricular activities, okay, NMIMS with this huge fest which they have. What about the clubs? Abhijay, would you be able to highlight the clubs and a little bit more on that particular aspect of NMIMS,
about the
Dr. Abhi?
clubs, right?
You're right.
So there are a lot of clubs. I mean, to name a few, you have the corporate interface cell, you have Enactus, you have Vayu, and the tech club, and the nature club, and a few other clubs. I was a part of the corporate interface cell, the collaborations department, and we primarily focused on getting speakers, industry experts for sessions, and I'm happy to say it was a very successful experience for the club and professionally for me as well. I got to learn a lot and made a lot of connections of my own. So each club teaches you a lot in its own way, your various departments and the HODs and everything. So each club teaches you a lot, and it's an experience that you must take in along with your academics. It helps you also build a very good social circle in addition to, just the club work, so to say.
Okay, that really sounds good. And students, in case if you are going with any university, make sure you join, because as Abhijay mentioned, it will definitely help you quite a lot. Okay. Now, I think the most important question, which everybody would want to know, would be about the internships and the placement. Okay, that's really the hot topic. So, starting with you, Ria, when does the internship basically start?
So you have to do your internship. So there are two internships that you have to do. The one is an NGO internship, which is after your first year, between basically the summer between your first year and your second year. That is when you have to do an NGO internship. And then the next is between your second and third year, which is a proper corporate internship for almost 6 to 8 weeks, which becomes almost 2 months, which is what Dia and I just finished and have now gone into our third year. So that's how the internships work in NMI.
Work, okay. So the other question is for you. Does NMIMS support you or provides you help when it comes to finding internships as concerned, or you're on your own?
No. So there's a placement cell, and
Okay.
it gives you assistance for both the social internship as well as the corporate internship. So if you want assistance from the college, then you have to register yourself with the placement cell, and they will be putting out opportunities. And if you think that is right for you, then you have to apply for that opportunity, and then they will, according to your resume and all, they'll select you if you are eligible for that.
Okay. That's great. What about placement then? I mean, when does the placement start? Ria, if you can possibly answer that particular question. When does the placement start? And is there any kind of an eligibility what you need to keep in mind?
So the placements for after your third year normally start by end of August, September time. So right now we are in the middle of that. A lot of companies are coming for placements. There are all of that. So like Dia said, for this too, you have to register. You have to send in your like CV or details all to the college. And then they, as companies come, you sit for the respective interviews and that sort of thing. So that's how it works. And yeah.
And Dia, what has been the last year's package which you have heard has been the highest?
I don't exactly remember a number,
Okay.
but I do like I've heard here and there, but I'm not sure to give
Not
a
sure about the number.
particular number. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Dia? Are you kind of heard any numbers about the seniors getting a package which was on the higher side?
No, so I think the number that you mentioned in the slide, I think it is around that. It's around,
Around by that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So that means the information what we have, which is a 7.5 lakh package, on an average, what a student get is
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's close to that.
It's close to that. Okay. Now, with all these particular, questions I have kind of fired at you. Okay. Let's close with this particular, you know, question which I want to ask all three of you. Okay. Abhijaya, starting with you, one last question. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you recommend, or would you recommend NMIMS BSc Finance, and why?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I would obviously recommend NMIMS BSc Finance because some aspects of the program and life at college are not so challenging. Others are pretty challenging, pretty difficult to be honest. But the the sum total is that they teach you a lot and it gives you a very, very dynamic and a very multifaceted experience, so to say. It prepares you for a lot of scenarios you will face in the corporate world, a lot of reality. You learn about investment banks, the way they function, things that didn't necessarily know earlier. So I would definitely recommend NMIMS. The quality of education imparted is excellent. Absolutely, no complaints there. That is one aspect of the college where I don't feel, one of the many aspects rather, where I don't feel anyone would be able to find a flaw. So a lot of other experiences are subjective on, how they fit you and how, if they fit well with you or not. But the faculty, the education, and the overall experience that you get at NMIMS is not matched at other places. Very, very few places even come in the league, to be very honest. So I would definitely
Great.
recommend it, and the course itself is very niche.
Fantastic. Dia, the same question to you. Would you recommend NMIMS, and what has been your learning, and why would you recommend?
100% I would recommend BSc Finance course because although it's, I don't know if I should say this, but it is a more rigorous course than the BBA and the BCom honors, which is there in ASM SOC. But so when I think, so as much as I've seen, BSc Finance students do stand out when, kept between BBA and BCom. Even in placements, companies do look for people who have such knowledge in finance. So, like education-wise, faculty-wise, now even the campus. So now we've been shifted to the Mukesh Patel building. So first we were in the Mitibai building, and this building is even like it's better than the Mitibai building, much better than that. So in respect to all these aspects, I think BSc Finance is a very good course if you have slight interest in finance. And by doing this, you also have all the options open. So after this, you can also do an MBA or a master's in finance, or yeah. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this course.
Last but not the least, Ria, what has been your experience, and is it been worth it for you? Do you feel as of now that it's going well?
Yes, I definitely have to agree with what both of them have said, that this course is definitely worth it. When you get in, maybe you might question, am I in the right place? Because, they throw you in the world of finance, and sometimes in 11th, 12th, you're not used to that exposure to the complete finance world. You're just given little bits and pieces of it. But it's definitely, now that I'm in the third year, worth it, because though that has created such a strong base for me that now today, when, like Dia said, if I'm going out in the corporate world or just even amongst kids from other colleges, I stand out somewhere. We stand out somewhere because of, the education we have, the learning that we have, the way we've been taught, the way we do projects. Like a lot of research work is done, a lot of, working on Excel, which is needed in the corporate world. So all of this combined together makes you like a whole person for the corporate journey that you're going to take ahead.
Fantastic. Now, with this, I want to thank all three of you for being a part of this particular event. Thank you so much for taking out time and joining. Thank you, students, for being a part of the event. And it will be nice if you guys can use the comment, the chat box, and let us know which university you would want to know or want to see next. Okay, we will make sure we actually try to get those universities for you. Do let us know with your suggestions which program you want to know more, which university you want to know more, and when we come next we will make sure we try to get that particular university. Okay, we have a question.
Just one
What is
second.
fee? Yeah,
Just,
sure.
just check the like panelist chat box. I just put something on there.
Yes, I have already done that, and we would get to that. So Abhijay is looking out for support from Dia and Ria because he is in that particular zone right now for internship. So please do help, our fellow panelists here, Ria and Dia. I'll share the contact details, Abhijay.
Yeah, I mean, if they're okay with it, surely.
Yeah, sure, sure. Definitely, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. Now we have a question here. The question is about the fees. What is the fees for all 3 years? So the fees for these 3 years, 3.5 years is 3.5 lakh is for Mumbai. So for 3 years, multiply karo, kitna hota hai? 10 and a half, 11, almost that. So for 3 years, you would end up spending around 10, 11 lakhs, almost that kind of an amount. Okay. Now, I hope this particular session was helpful. Does only NMIMS offer BSc Finance in Mumbai? Yes, as per the information, apart from NMIMS, there are other universities and other colleges as well which offer, by BSc Finance. If you're looking at a list, you can connect with me. You can email me. I will make sure that I send you the complete and updated list because the list in that case would be a little bit longer. Okay. So in case if there is any question, email me on this email address and we would connect. So you are looking at BSc in Maths, Udyati, and BCom honors from NMIMS. Okay. Apart from NMIMS, anything else, do let us know. Does All right. Any further questions or we are good to go? All right then. Thank you so much everyone for being a part of the event. If there is anything, that's the email address. Please do connect with me. If you want to know anything about the university, and definitely we will make sure we are there to support you. Okay. Thank you, Ria. Thank you, Dia, and thank you, Abhijay, for being a part of the event. And
Thank you
happy
so much.
Diwali in advance, everyone. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much for having us, ma'am.
Most welcome.